Okay, so this is a strategy guide. Probably some stuff you already know, like when you harvest, you must, and I mean must, immediately replant. Now, the crops don't wither. That is the big difference between Farmville and Paradise Island. Well, it's one of many large differences. Now, I use coffee fairly regularly, pun intended, so I don't want to drop below 15 in my storage. Things like rice and wheat that I don't use, period, because I don't have the sushi bar for the rice and I don't have whatever the wheat uses. So these I only keep 5. And the only reason I even keep 5 of these at all times is because one of these traders might decide they want it. Now, I was going to do this a bit later, but 5 experience, 4 experience. Tap on those little critters and they give you experience points. Sorry, that's Messenger. You don't need to see that. Okay, trying to keep on script here. So always replant after you've harvested it. Never, ever, ever, unless you have run out of room, never, ever, ever craft before you harvest. Because you want to make sure you have, let's say your rows are 5. You want to make sure that you have 5 in your inventory to plant. Well, the best way to do that is to just replant it, if at all possible. Now trees also don't wither until you've used up all their uses. They're limited use things unless you have eternal trees, but those cost gems. And I don't want to buy, we'll get into that later. So you have a certain number of uses on these and then they turn yellow and you have to remove them before you can replant a new one. And we'll get into that later also as well. So leave these all sparkly and ready to harvest until you need them. As you can see, I've already used one of the coconuts on here and one of the pomegranates here, and this little dude, which you can't really see that well, I have just replanted. So they do kind of grow in real time-ish. Now, I'm going to harvest this seaweed, which means I'm going to use a basket. Now, so that you don't run out, I've already done that apparently. You want to have, like, as soon as you use it, make it. So I have one more fishing net than I need. That was kind of an accident. Now I only have 2 backpacks. I should make 2 more. Why? Because these 2 moles here are ready to harvest. And I'm about to use those 2 backpacks that I made. Now, these 2 that I'm making now are to replace the ones that I used. Excuse me, sorry. Because this has got another hour on it. This has over 3 hours on it. So there's really no need to make backpacks for them right this minute. Now, as you can see, this is Wesley's exports. You don't get it right away, but you get it fairly quickly. My boyfriend just started and he's already got it. This is where you sell off extra. Things that you are not going to use, or things that you've harvested and you have reached your storage limit. We'll get to that. Now, this is the board that you probably know very well. Now, I've been catching crabs left and right, but I've been getting them out of my inventory because I have to wait for these to finish. It's a half hour for each one of these, which means it's an hour. So I can keep selling these crabs until I have these in my hot little inventory. Prioritize based on the time limit. Don't bother making the things that are going to be quick or harvesting the things that are going to be quick until you've got these, because they're just going to clutter up your inventory. And well, you see how many slots you've got. So you've got 5 of those plus however many ships you've unlocked. Plus now we've got Trade Fest going on. We'll get to that in a minute. So prioritize your crafting based on the time limit. Now storage. You have the windmill, which is your plants. And this, I'm up to 110. At first, I think it's just pulleys, and then it's pulleys and gears. And then pulleys, gears, and then you get support beams, and then now I'm finally on to windmill blades, which is odd considering it's a windmill. I just now got windmill blades. I don't know. Now, you get these through the traders, the boat people, or through the treasure chests. And you get more treasure chests if you have pets, which we will get to. Now you can, if you're missing pieces, upgrade. But the more pieces you're missing, the more this number is going to be. If your windmill gets full, and that's where your plants are, you can craft things to put them in your treehouse, and that'll get them out of your inventory. Now, I'm not using that seaweed that I harvested, but I'll show you why I harvested it. You sell it, and someone who needs it for an order, whether it's a boat person or one of these, which I think it's silly to buy things for these, but I'll get to that reason in a bit. By the way, those critters that I was clicking on, let's see if we can find another one, because it's not just butterflies, although that's all I'm seeing. It's pretty much anything tiny that moves. Well, some aren't tiny. The octopus that occasionally, here we go. Little hermit crab. That one gave me 3 experience. Now, some people will only click on the ones that give you more experience. Some, like me, click on them because it's something to do while you're waiting for things to finish being made. Now, those critters are the only things that will disappear. Your crops don't disappear. Sorry. Your crafted items don't disappear. Only the critters, nothing else. Sorry about that. Now, if you're down to only 1 space left in your treehouse, but you have to harvest, say, your turtles, well, what you do, since you already have those 4 nets in your storage, is you, oh look, I can demonstrate. You harvest 1 turtle, and you see how it goes up to 63? Well, if I use a net, it goes down to 62. Here I harvest this one, and I use that net. It went 63, now it's down to 62 again. So if you don't have the storage to do this, and by the way, you can just in one swoop get them all to do the same thing if that's what you're doing. And again, I'm not using the crabs. And you see how quickly these things are selling, by the way. I'm not using the crabs, so boom, in the auction house. Well, it's Wesley's Exports, but I call it the auction house. Now, if there is a quest or a thing that you can't do yet, like this one, I don't have the sushi bar. You can, if you want, trash it, but then you have to wait 15 minutes for it to give you a new one. The ships, on the other hand, this one I don't have the island unlocked to get the item that he wants, and I'm not going to buy it at the the other auction house, because very rarely can you get it for less than what you'll get back. Very rarely. But to trash these costs pearls, and we'll get into why that's bad later. And look, the rice is ready to harvest, and as I said, I don't have the sushi place, so I'm going to auction off the rice because it has a fairly long cooldown. And the things that have long cooldowns, people don't always want to wait for. So if they can just buy it instead of waiting for it, they will. And as you saw, it's really rather inexpensive. Sorry, there goes a message. Okay. Now, as you saw, really? Is the message not going to pop up? Anyway, so that's where you, sorry. So that's where you sell things that you don't want to use. If you find something that you need, you go to the world market. And this is the world market. And if you want to visit somebody, we'll get into why you'd want to visit somebody. You don't have to buy the thing that they're offering, but you go to the visit tab. And I'm not going to do that because it takes a while for it to load. That's where you buy things that you need. Now, you see how I have, let's say, 4 turtles. At my level, I can have up to 6. I choose not to, but I can. There's something there that I'll look at. Well, let's look at it now. What is this? Oh, it's that stupid, I don't buy these because I don't have enough gems ever. But yeah, these unlock based on your level. You start out with 1, then 2, then 3, etc. Same with the crops. This annoying little gap right here I can't fill till I get to a certain level. Now, if you have cleared some land and you have these rocks and these trees and some bushes and whatnot, you will need axes and shears and sledgehammers to get rid of the bushes and trees and rocks. Now, I get them from, you know, some of the critters or a treasure chest or whatever. And I usually sell them off. Now, why do I sell them off? Even though they don't do very well in the auction house. They don't do very well at the auction house for the same reason that I don't keep them. They take up room in your inventory, and you get stars from visiting your friends or other people, as I showed you how. Well, I showed you how to visit other people. We'll get to your friends in a sec. But if I needed any of these, because I visit so many people, I have 658 stars, and it's only 100 for whichever one of these I want. Now, if you want to visit your friends, that is this little icon here. But you have to be connected to Facebook to do so. Maybe we shouldn't show my exact friend list. But that's how you connect to your friends. Pearls. Let's go back over here. The reason that you don't want to use pearls to get rid of a trader, because they're going to leave after a few hours anyway, is because recipes are what you buy with pearls. And you don't want to give them away. Some of the people on the ships will want the pearls, but you don't want to sell them if you have the bazaar unlocked, because I am 1 away from any of these. Except that's 2 away. Now, I could buy that last pearl for 15, but I only have 14. But yes. Here we go. So I harvest 2. And because I used 2 baskets to harvest, I want to make 2 more baskets. Now, as I said, the things that you absolutely don't use, like the wheat and the rice for me, I would sell all but 5, and I would only keep the 5, like I said, because sometimes the people on the boats ask for them. Things that you rarely use, like vanilla or coffee, 15 to 20 at most, depending on what level your storage is at. Pineapple, once you reach a certain level, is largely useless. Every now and then, like for this guy, every now and then he'll want grilled pineapple. He doesn't right now. Right now he wants boards, but sometimes it's grilled pineapple. And sometimes a quest will ask for pineapple juice. By the way, this little pelican I have as a pet, which is the only reason to buy anything that, well, not the only reason, because you buy it for 22 and you can sell it for more at the auction house. The only reason I did these two was to unlock this, because once you have the pelican, that's what it eats. Now, here's the thing. I can give it the pelican, I can give the pelican the sunfish that it likes. Or, ooh, I don't have any. I have to wait 8 hours and 1 minute for that. Okay, so I have to go buy the fish. But you can also make treats for them. The blue ones you give to your friends, their pets. The purple ones you give to your pet. Now you can also, there's another purple one that you can get. By the way, this is what happens when somebody else feeds your animal. I don't know this person. They must have visited my island through the world market. Oh, hey, there's that thing I needed for that quest. And, oh, hello. I forgot. One of the trade market things was to collect from your things 6 times. I totally forgot about that. 2 trade post orders. Well, I'm working on it. Anyway, by the way, the monkey eats coconuts. And the reason that I love the pet treat thingies is because this little guy eats a fruit from an island that I have not been to. I haven't unlocked it yet, because I don't have the map fragments to do so. So it's nice, yeah, these things. So it's nice that I can make these or win these and still be able to feed him. So he's gonna have to deal with what my what the nice person gave him, because I don't have the fruit that he needs. But the pelican, go back to this dude, Angler Island. And it makes sense, because this is where you get the pelican. This is where you buy his food. And you have to wait 8 hours. 8 hours to get another one. And sometimes the people at the docks will ask for those little fish, and you think, why? It takes me 8 hours to get another one. Why would I, and you only have, let's say, 8 hours to fill his order. Well, let's do this guy, for example. I don't have the music shop. The only reason I have one is because I bought it on the auction house. I also don't have the sushi bar. And again, I could pay 2 pearls to make him go away, but there's no reason for me to do so because I haven't unlocked his spooky ghost island where those coins mean anything. Now, I'm not using my glass blower for anything. No quests, no boat orders, no nothing. Nothing for the docks. So I decided to make a stained glass window because I had the materials just sitting around in my treehouse, and those stained glass windows go for a lot of money because sometimes the dock orders, you don't have enough time to actually make the thing that they want, whether it's you didn't get on the computer until halfway through the timer or whatever. So, oh yeah, see, there are my moles with the ore again. So I could collect them if I wanted to. Now, if you have a whole bunch of orders over here, it's a little trickier knowing which ones you can, like the soup pot. Can I put something in the soup pot? Will I need anything there? The blacksmith, can I do something there? The grill, can I do something there? Or will I put something on there with the longest timer possible just to have them doing something and making me money, and then have it need something here? Oh, yes, Trade Fest. Okay. Now, this says that I only need to have 5 sarongs in storage, which means I can buy or make those 5 sarongs. Some of them will say collect or harvest that number of things, like, you know, harvest fish from your turtles X number of times. But this says just have them in storage. I bought 2 of these. I made 2 of these. Or no, I bought 3 and I made 1, and I'm waiting for the second one to be finished. So that will complete that. But again, it's tricky because I made these 2 sarongs just because I had the fabric and the tailor wasn't doing anything. The outfitters weren't doing anything. But then I got a trade post order for the necklace. So now I have to wait for the sarongs to finish before I can make the necklace. So it is a bit tricky. Now, boats, as you see, it tells you how much time is left. So let's say that I had 2 of these, but I had a boat that wanted it versus one of these that wanted it. If you'll look, you can tell this is old because they don't give sand dollars as a reward anymore. So does this one. These are not timed. They're not. You can take as long as you want to do these. So if the reward is great enough, like let's say that instead of gold, he was offering a pet sticker, you would give him the 2 coats because of the pet sticker and just go buy 2 more buy 2 more coats for the trade post order afterward, because one is timed and has a reward and the other doesn't. Now, if you are impatient, you're going to blow through your gems very quickly, and you won't be able to buy anything that you want. Because as you see, you can speed this up by spending a measly 4 gems. Me, I prefer, since it's in real time, to just wait the 23 minutes and change, rather than spend the gems that are so hard to come by. So I realize we're at 24 minutes, but that is pretty much everything you need to know to play the game decently well. I'm not a pro, but these are the things that I've learned the hard way. Oh, land clearing. You can only clear adjacent bits, obviously, but as you get further out, that one's 21,000, that's 27,000, this one is 40,000. As with most games, the price goes up. These didn't cost me that much to build, but if I want the sushi bar, it is 35,000. Paradise Music is 28,000. So things do get more expensive, but if you sell the things you don't need and keep as many of these things busy as you can and sell off what you don't need, you'll make decent money. I mean, you're not gonna be rolling in cash. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not gonna be rolling in cash, but you'll make more than you would if you were just doing orders for the island and orders for the ships. By the way, every now and then, you'll see one of these guys with a treasure chest on its back. Oh, and they're not all that tiny. Every now and then you'll see an octopus that's about the size of these turtles. Well, about the size of the otters. And it'll pop up. So it's not all jellyfish. And oh, by the way, that is not one of the critters. I actually bought that at the bazaar. The places that you can usually find the critters is on this beach up here, in here, in any cleared land that you have, because they're not going to be in like this stuff. The creators weren't that mean. Also along this coastline, sometimes all the way up here, all the way down. Sometimes you'll find things on Pike's little island here. And by the way, as you gain influence with him, his little hut gets more and more defined. Now, oh, there's one there. Sometimes you'll find jellyfish way out here. Not always, but sometimes. And by the way, there is a little flower up here, and it doesn't do anything except open and close. And I love clicking on random things in the environment because stuff like that happens. So have fun. Oh yeah, this little guy gives you mushrooms. It's a sloth. So yeah, that's generally what you need to know to play. Sorry it's so long. I don't know if this counts as a tutorial or a let's play, but there you go.